I found out my husband of 23 years has been having an affair. Before we begin, I'd like to inform you that this channel got demonetized because of sexual content. I'll stop posting on it in the near future. But I've created a backup channel, link will be in the description. If you like my content, I can guarantee you daily updates on my new channel. I also have channel with entitled People and Karen Stories. Link also will be in the description. I highly recommend checking it out. Without further ado, enjoy the video. Story. Yesterday I made a post on Reddit, and after reading some of the comments and reflecting on some of the behaviors I have noticed over the last year or so, I left work early and went home. I knew he would be home for lunch, and I decided to talk to him to find out why he was putting his friend over me. We have been married for 23 years. We have been dating since high school, and I thought everything was good. We have one child who will be 19 next week. We were discussing retirement plans and downsizing our home for when our son moves out. The issues began when he met his friend, who I now know is his affair partner 2 years ago. Over the last year or so, he would drop everything to go help him. He would cancel dates or plans with me to hang out with him. Sometimes he would even bring him with us on date nights. This friend was always cold towards me. I never knew why. Anytime I brought it up with my husband, he would just dismiss it or tell me that the friend was shy or he didn't mean it. So like an idiot, I believed him. God, I am so stupid. After I made the post, things just clicked for me. So I confronted him. I asked him why he kept canceling our plans to be with a friend, if maybe he was doing it on purpose, and he agreed with me. So I asked if there was something more going on between them than just friendship, and that's when he dropped the bomb. They had been involved in a romantic relationship for over a year. I didn't know whether to cry or throw up. He told me that he believes he is bisexual and that he is confused. He said he loves me, but he loves him too, and doesn't know what to do. I told him that his confusion with his sexuality is no excuse for cheating and gave him until last night to get out of the house. I spent last night with my sister. I told her that he cheated and I am leaving him, but that's all she knows. I am meeting with a divorce lawyer tomorrow afternoon. My husband has been blowing up my phone since he admitted to the affair and I left. He is begging me to take him back. Told me he would stop the affair with his friend. Has been crying and begging me to not abandon him, but I cannot bring myself to talk to him. My son came to my sister's after he got off work and I just told him that his father and I were divorcing, that he admitted to having an affair. My son asked who the affair partner was, and I told him that he should talk to his dad if he needed more details. As much as I hate that man right now, I do not feel it is my place to disclose his sexuality. And God, do I hate this man right now. My son left and apparently got into a huge fight with his father and basically told him that he was dead to him. I went back home this morning and I got physically sick when I pulled into the driveway. My home is a house of lies. I am the world's biggest fool. I am a walking joke. He left me a note by the coffee pot, something he did every morning, and he told me I was the love of his life and that nothing or no one would ever change that, and all I could do was cry. For the last 24 hours I have cried so much that I don't think I have any tears left. I don't know what to do or where to go. I want to be anywhere but here. Am I doing the right thing? Am I overreacting? Is it possible to forgive him and move on, or will he just do this again and be sneakier about it next time? Do I want to spend the rest of my life worrying if he will cheat on me with another friend, a stranger? I just don't know what to do. He was my rock. He was my best friend. At times like this I would go to him for support, but he is the cause of my pain and I just don't know what to do. Redditor's reactions story 2 after. Redditor 1, I went through almost the exact same thing. My wife of 24 years had a friend that she would do things with, a much younger woman. My wife and I were 48 at the time and the friend was 30. Turns out they were having an affair. For what it is worth, I think you did the right things. I tried to reconcile, tried to be understanding and supportive, and it did not work. We are now divorced. I frequently wonder what would have happened had I kicked her out of the house immediately. Watching your wife crying because she misses her friend and not crying because she is hurting you is probably the worst heart-wrenching thing that has happened to me. Redditor 2, start by reading lots of Chump Lady. Just discovered I was cheated on, now what? You handled everything the right way. You need distance to process your feelings. You did it the right way with your son. Your feelings are perfectly normal. It's normal to feel like a fool. You're not. You chose to love and trust your life partner. He chose to betray you the worst way possible. I suggest you keep your distance from him for a while to process things. It's likely his remorse will be short-lived and he'll be back to old ways. He has to put in real work to change who he is and what he did. Most people won't try. Don't second-guess yourself. Keep down the path you're on. Most couples don't survive infidelity. As I said yesterday, I think he has lost romantic love for you, which is why he kept inserting the other man into romantic affairs. He's still got lots of platonic love and y'all have a long history, but you need more. You deserve more. And you certainly deserve better. Story 2, he was cheating on me our entire marriage. It's over and I'm devastated. My husband 32M and I 34F have been married for just about 6 years. The night after we got engaged, I discovered that he had been intimating with people he knew in person on Facebook. His previous relationship was far more timely liberal and non-monogamous, so I set the rule that this was not okay with me. This was cheating. If he did it again, I would leave him. Of course, he did it again. He dramatically woke me up in the middle of the night a few years later to tell me he'd been doing it again. Honestly, I was relieved because I thought he'd been doing it that whole time. So, we went to counseling. Not even 6 months later, a friend of mine informed me that my husband had been flirting with his wife over Snapchat. Both parties insisted it was one drunken time. I had been working my ass off for 2 years to finish school so that we could go to Japan for a year or two. It was something we had been working towards and I had always dreamed of. We were literally just a few months from attaining that goal, so I wasn't going to let him take it from me. I buried those feelings deep. These acts of infidelity left me feeling undesired and I often blamed myself. They destroyed my sense of self-worth. Our time life was often distant, sometimes nearing dead bedroom territory, but it's not an issue he ever really tried to work on. I sought individual counseling, thinking maybe it was me. I got an IUD, thinking maybe my hormones were out of whack. What it was is that I felt so undesired and untrusting that the emotional connection wasn't there, and so I just never thought about time. When we got back from Japan, we had a rough year but things slowly got better. I started to feel unhappy though. We had a big come to Jesus talk about our relationship where we talked about our feelings, what we were going to do to save our marriage, and recommitted to each other. We finally started having time and connecting as a couple again. That was nice. But, it was gnawing at me. I had asked him point blank if monogamy was okay. He said yes. I asked him if the instances of cheating that I knew about were it. He said yes. Folks, surprise surprise, he's a liar. I'm not proud of this, but after 7 years of anxiety about it, I snooped on his computer. What I found was more than I could have imagined. He was cheating on me basically the whole time by intimidating other girls. I confronted him with the evidence, and during the confrontation, he revealed that he never cheated on me because to him that isn't cheating, even though I told him that is to me. Very clearly. He revealed he got handsy with a girl in my house in my bed, but since he didn't go all the way, I guess that isn't cheating? It's over. I'm filing for divorce. I feel like I'm falling apart. Update. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. I really appreciate it. I am moving out next Friday. Hopeful for new beginnings. Update. He cheated on me for 8 years. Post-separation and I'm feeling at peace. I don't know if this will help anyone else here, but I thought I'd talk about my experience thus far. Basic summary of my previous post: was married to my 34F husband 32M for 6 years, together for 8 years. He cheated on me 3 times via S-ing. I knew about these incidents. Last month I discovered that there were far more, and he had been cheating on me our whole relationship. Within 10 days of this discovery, I moved out. I said my piece to him multiple times. Each time he apologized, it was always self-serving. He seemed sorry for the trouble his life was now going to have. He seemed sorry that his marriage was ending. He didn't seem sorry at all for what he did to me. I'll never get the closure that I want from him, because that closure would require him to feel empathy, something I truly think he is incapable of. I will not waste my energy chasing validation from a man that could share a life with me, but always look through me. In the past, during difficult breakups, I used to always blame myself. In fact, that's what kept me in this relationship even after knowing about the infidelity. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I was inadequate, a subpar wife. Yet, this time, I don't feel that way. I was a good wife. I tried my best. Yeah, sometimes I failed at things, but never did deserve this. The more I thought about it, the more I realized, not only was the cheating not my fault, but it wasn't about me. The cheating was never about me. The cheating is his problem, his inner demons, his unresolved issues. He wasn't out to maliciously hurt me, but did so out of extreme lack of empathy. He can't connect with people like I can. It's kind of sad. I said everything I need to say to him. The other day, I ran into him at a sandwich shop. I felt fine. I felt nothing. I said hello. I was cordial. I will not let this man destroy my life with anger or anxiety. I refuse to avoid my favorite places or be scared to see him on the street. He screwed up, not me. He isn't worth my anger. Our marriage wasn't worth saving. Now that I'm out, I feel lighter. He was an anchor tying me down. Instead of obsessing over what he did in my counseling sessions, I shifted focus, and I'm finding new ways to appreciate the life I'm building now. I'm learning to appreciate me, and that's something he could never do. Good riddance. Redditor's reaction. Story 3 after. Redditor 1, good for you to have that strength. I'm going through the same. My ex-fiancé just confessed that he has been cheating on me over the entire 12 years of our relationship. He left me for an affair partner he met a few months ago. We were supposed to get married in October. I'm still struggling, although not as much as in the beginning, and I am definitely scared to run into him and her anywhere since we all live near each other. Your post is how I want to feel. I will be saving this to reread when these feelings get to me. Thank you, Op. Redditor 2, thank you for your post. This part in particular got to me. Now that I'm out, I feel lighter. I wish more BS were aware of this. They are so trapped in denial and clinging to their pain that they don't realize all of their anguish and suffering would go away if they could muster the strength to just let go. Story 3, found out my dead dad was having an affair. So my dad died 4 years ago. He and my mom were happily married for 42 years. We were a very small, but very close family. I have one brother and he has no idea about all of this. A few weeks ago she was clearing out the garage. What else can you do in lockdown? And she found a box of his things that she'd not seen before. Inside it was hundreds of cards and letters from another woman, spanning over 16 years. My mom is absolutely devastated. I'm so angry and so sad. A 76-year-old woman should not have her heart broken at this stage in her life. She is feeling so confused, so sad, and so angry. She's becoming totally fixated on it, questioning everything. Which I get 100%. How can I help her through this? I wish she'd never found it. Edit, typo. Second edit. Thank you so much to everyone for all the caring words. I'm struggling to reply to everyone, so here's some more general responses. My mom says therapy is not for her. And she is not religious. She has confided in me and 2 of her closest friends who are also trying to support her. She doesn't want anyone else to know. I have tried to track down the other woman, unsuccessfully. All I have is a name, and it's not an uncommon name. None of the letters were still in their envelopes, so I have no postmarks as an indicator of where she was sending them from. There are also 2 photos, so I know what she looked like. I have found a woman on FB who I'm fairly sure is her. Her last public activity was January 2019. She hasn't read my private message and hasn't accepted my friend request. I have spent hours on the internet trying to track her down via other avenues but always come to a dead end. We think they worked together in the early 80s, then he moved to a different company, and their affair intensified from then. We don't know anyone else who worked with them. My brother doesn't know because Mom and I agreed that we didn't want him to feel the way we are feeling. He idolized my dad. We don't know what good can come from us telling him. It's just another broken heart. The thing that baffles us the most is why he kept them. He knew he was dying, he had time to destroy them. He was an intelligent man. We can only assume he wanted Mom to find them one day, but why? If you're still reading this far, then thank you. Remember to check out my new channels. Link in the description. Have a nice day. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, therapy for her is a must. Op answer, I've suggested it. She's 76, she's old school, she says it's not for her. Redditor 2, I'm so sorry this caused your mom and all of you so much pain. I know this hurt as I am going through it right now. Please stay at her side as much time as you can and talk about something else to distract her, take her out for dinner, movie, etc. Op answer, thank you. I've been trying to distract her a lot, but it's very difficult at the moment because where I live we are in lockdown, so there isn't much to do. The thought of her being alone with her thoughts so much is destroying me. Redditor 3, maybe contact the other woman just yourself without telling Mom to get to the bottom of it. Maybe it was mostly one-sided? Sorry again. Op answer, I've tried to find her and I can't. Granted, I've only really done internet and social media searches. I could probably do more. Although I don't know what. I only have her name. I know nothing else about her. No address, email, or phone number, nothing. Just a name. Oh, and some old photos of her. Which, as you can imagine, were extremely difficult for my mom to see. Redditor 4, I'm so sorry for you and your grieving mother. Infidelity is like hell. When you find yourself there, keep moving. It's not your or your mother's fault that this is now an unfortunate part of his legacy. Be kind to yourself. Let yourself go through the 5 stages of grief. Because it's not just the death of your dad, it's the death of Dad too, the man you thought you knew. Ultimately, he is gone. And I think forgiveness is the only thing that can help anyone. There will be a ton of unanswered questions. But don't feel guilty if you can help it about having ups and downs. Goes for your mom too with how you now feel about him. As long as you can march towards acceptance and forgiveness, you'll be able to move on. 16 years is a long time. Not something your mom will be getting over anytime soon. The life she thought she lived came shattering when she found that box. The fixation is completely normal. She is distilling a lifetime with a man that she found out was cheating on her. I don't blame her for what she is feeling, and needs to be able to express herself in order to move forward most likely. Op answer, thank you. I 100% understand her fixation on it. I am letting her talk about it as much as she wants and needs to. My heart just breaks for her and I want to take some of her pain away. Thank you for your kind words. Redditor 5, my father was murdered in 1962. From that point on, my grandparents became strictly roommates. They had separate rooms unless company came and they put on a good face. I found out after he died at 92 that he had a girlfriend for almost 40 years. Grandma knew and I guess she didn't care as long as he didn't bother her. Sometimes life is just so damn sad. Redditor 6, this book specifically addresses how to move forward when the perpetrator has already passed away. It's a great book and I'd strongly encourage you to take a look at it. I bought a used copy from Amazon and then highlighted the parts I thought were important. Marking up a used book seems more agreeable somehow. The go-to answer on Reddit is to get a therapist. My personal experience with getting a therapist's help is it's hard to find someone even half-decently competent in practice. In my view, it's better to go to the best book advice you can find, which will be far superior to what you can likely get in person, because it'll be from world-class experts, and then if you have the option financially, use a therapist to augment the book work you do. Anyone in this sub who's a BS or WS ought to check this book it. It lays it out how to process this betrayal in a practical way that few books successfully manage to do. Op answer: this is really helpful, thank you, I'll order a copy. And I agree with what you're saying about therapy. My mom is also a bit old school and just says it's not for me.